And we're back. Welcome back to the second part of our Isekai Realms chapter tonight. This will not be the end of Isekai Realms. Do not worry, unless we all die. I want to remind everybody that I am launching my Kickstarter, which is going live on Friday. I put a link in the chat. You can sign up to be an early supporter, and we'll just give you notifications. We have giveaways that are coming up next week. I don't think we're giving away anything tonight, but there is another set of Norse Foundry dice. In fact, I have it right here, and we're giving this away next week. Cruciferous Kale won last time and just got their dice today, which is pretty great. So these things are awesome. Please come to our game next week and for your chance to win. Also, we have a bunch of fiction that people are doing. You can see a link to Rhiannon's space opera novella out now, Pure Motives. And we got a lot of other stuff going on. But right now, we're wandering through the streets of Westgate, and one of us is 3/4 covered in shit. And maybe going to do it justice.
We'll find out.
Going to do it justice.
He really went Batman.
Oh no! Like we don't.
I don't remember the Batman where he gets covered in poo. Anyway, so
I'm sure it happened.
Anything involving Clayface. Anyway,
I'm sure it was a Frank Miller issue. Anyway, let's go.
Definitely a very dark night. Anyway, so what was I going to say?
I think I just heard Shipley laugh. That was pretty great.
You did absolutely hear that. Yes. You, Eric, Randy, and Joel all heard something from that alleyway 40 or so feet back on the right. You got up the back of your neck, Eric, and you may have muttered something about a justice.
Keep going. I'll be right back.
Nobody else heard that? So you're going to say, both of you will hear it and hear him mutter about the justice, and then he'll say, keep going. I'll be right back. Everyone will look at you like, what?
Yeah, I just walk that way.
There's a woman crying and seems to be in trouble that way. Should we back up Eric? I don't feel comfortable with him going off alone.
I don't know. It's a woman. They, them pronouns.
Look, you
or they.
Y'all get our wounded friend and the children to wherever we need to go. I'm going after Eric, and I'll jog after him.
Someone's got to drag my unconscious body away.
May will say, we have wounded. This is not our city. This is not our problem.
And
this is my duty. No, thank you.
No, it's my problem. And
claiming ownership of Eric's controversy.
But this guy, everyone's problem.
And
especially Allie's.
Is there a way that? How far away was that patrol that was just walked by?
Oh, that was easily about 8 minutes away.
Oh, okay.
Rhiannon, and the voice in your head will say, our mission is these babes. He's being reckless again. That is probably a trap designed to ensnare us all. What if it's another vampire?
I mean, then he'll just flash at it with his sword again. But this is internal. I'm going to speak back to it.
Okay, so you will dismiss its concerns?
No, I'm going to sort of angrily whisper. But the thing is that I don't believe that I'm going to be able to call Eric back.
He's dwindling away in the distance.
Yeah, and Allie's going after him. So I'm probably going to sort of angrily whisper after Allie, we have to save Ulzer and the babes. So I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, I said keep going.
Okay, so that's Eric, that's Allie, that's Rhiannon. Joel and Randy?
No, I want to support Eric and someone in trouble, but also we have the babies we have injured. Don't know. It could be
split the party. Split the party. Split the party. Yeah.
My other concern though is how they will find us if we leave. So if we continue on, I feel like we should stay here because they would know where to find us.
May will sigh heavily and say he has 2 or 3 long songs.
Ordar does? Is that what you're
No,
saying?
your friend does. I will
Oh.
tarry here for the length of 2 or 3 long songs, and then we press on without him.
Okay.
I expect you all to find me. I'm the one who smells like a sewer. I'll just wander around.
May, do you have the ability to message someone or send a message magically to someone?
I know a spell that will do that, but I need to rest and study it.
Okay, just in case we do get separated, you might be able to contact Eric again.
There is nothing magically beyond simple tricks that I can do at this point. I have spent my magics for the day.
Okay.
Joel, how about you?
Okay, if she's already said that she's going to wait, I'm going to also follow and back up Eric.
All right, so here's what I've got going. I've got Eric boldly striding down that way. You're feeling good, Eric. You're feeling good about this decision. Allie scrambling after Eric. If he's going to get into trouble, I'm going to get him out of it. And Joel going, well, damn it, I'm not being left behind here either. So, boosh, that's the 3 of you strung out down that way, headed to the end of the street. Eric, you'll get to the end of that street. Is your weapon out, away?
Oh yeah. Has it started glowing on its own?
Now that you mention it, yeah, it has. It's fairly singing in your hand. So delighted that you've decided to take this course of action.
It glows and sings in the presence of injustice.
Yeah, there you go. And you'll get your glimpse down this alleyway.
That's below.
It is. The light is low. Really, it's just, reflected light from around, the reflected light from the moon. About 80 feet away, like down the alleyway, almost as if they were dragged down there. There's a group of individuals. 3 men that are dressed in red, blue sashes and hats colorfully. They're sort of like long-haired. They look maybe Shao. One of them is on the ground, clutching his stomach, as there is another man over him who has just kicked him. The other 2 are sort of cowering next to that man. The 4 people that aren't these 3 individuals that are in this group are dressed in dark clothes, tunics and breeches, not matched, but all in dark shades of brown or black. And they've got some kind of something smeared on their faces so that nose up, it's blacked out.
Like a
almost
mask.
Like a mask.
Like
Yeah.
a night mask.
Maybe.
Mhm.
You'll get to the mouth of that alley, 80 feet away from the action. Somebody might notice what's going on down your way.
Stand away, knaves.
As he's doing that, I am going to put myself next to the mouth of the alley and just press up against the wall.
So it's like there's one crazy person with a flamey thing yelling.
At the moment,
out
yeah.
the alley. Okay.
Covered in shit. Let's be clear.
I just dropped all my dice on the floor. You'll be happy to know. All right. Anyway, okay.
I have had a shitty day and you will not make it worse.
This kind of comedy gold. This is not right itself. Okay, so Joel, we see what Allie's doing, which is trying not to be seen. And we know what Eric's doing, which is trying to be seen and drawing the attention of these people well down the alleyway. What are you doing?
I'm moving up, positioning myself next to Eric, because do any of them have weapons out?
They're carrying an assortment of clubs, 2 of them bigger than the other 2 clubs, and daggers, 2
Let's
smaller
go.
than the other.
Okay, so they've got daggers out. Okay, sword out then.
Okay, so you'll draw a blade too. You'll hear an owl hoot. Well, that's kind of odd. Could the 3 of you roll a 20-sided die for me?
Oh, great.
Oh, great.
17.
I rolled 5.
8.
All right. 17, you got nothing. Wow, this place must be thick with owls. Allie, you have a sense of where that came from, like a building around the mouth of this alleyway. And Eric, with your 5, you'll spot it. It's probably a woman, just from the curves on her. She is dressed black tunic, black leggings, black boots, black cloak, and an actual mask on her face.
Right.
She is about 30 feet up at one of the 2 buildings at the mouth of the alleyway, perched on a rooftop. I think that might have been some sort of a signal she sent. Do you want to acknowledge that you know that she's there, or do you wish to plunge down the alleyway to these brigands?
Well, this is clearly a trap. I point my sword at her and I say, you as well, my lady.
All right.
I shall give you this one chance to walk away.
2 of the men
gone insane.
Probably.
Probably. Joel, anything before they reply?
You should probably run now.
Okay, so here's what happens by way of response. The 2 slightly smaller men with daggers down the alleyway will keep an eye on the 3 men that they are robbing, as the 2 men with clubs will come striding down the alleyway in a half run, half jog towards you and Eric. The woman on the rooftop will glance over in your general direction and jump from one rooftop to another. She's leaving the area.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
Okay. So it is about to be the beginning of a new round.
You have made a terrible choice, fools.
What is wrong with you?
I have a job now.
I am gainfully employed. It is the beginning of a new round. You're starting about 60 feet away from the 2 brigands who are trotting down in this direction to join you. Speaking goes first, so if you want to do more pontificating, Eric, do not let me stop you. So you may speak to them. They plan to speak to you as well as they're approaching. But does anyone want to plunge in and attack, attempt to defuse the situation before combat? I've got 3 of you there. I'll start with Joel. What would you like to do this round?
If I mean it, you really want to run. This guy's crazy. I mean, look at the flaming sword.
I'd look at the poop, but I mean, you look at what you want.
Look at him. He's coming in shit.
Okay, so that's what you'll say. And anything else? Do you want to take action or just back him up?
I'm backing him up. If they get close enough to attack, I will. But
okay, Allie.
I mean, first off, if you could like step back and like lure them slightly out of the alleyway, I might be able to like stick where I am and just be, come in from the side. But otherwise, I'll hold for a moment. For the moment, I will, my sword's out. I'm ready to like, if I need to dart in and stab somebody, but I am letting them. Yeah, I'm lurking and letting them think there's only 2 people for the moment.
Gotcha. And Eric.
Oh, Meyer, Doug, the poop-lidden, really? All right. I want to say I am not going to be the classic lawful stupid paladin. I'm gonna stay here and I'm gonna keep intimidating them because I want to lure them close enough for Allie to get the drop on them. So
fair enough.
What I say is, my friends cannot stop me. You think you have any chance?
Okay. They will say as they're closing in on you, do you have any idea who we are, fool?
I have some idea who you are, and it does not frighten me.
He's covered in shit, one will say to the other.
It's been a shitty day.
That will draw them up short, Eric. They were closing in on you as though they were going to club you. They'll see the sword. That'll at least put some caution into them. But the thing that really sells the idea that you might be mad is the fact that you are covered in poop. And so they don't attack you. They'll end the round about 10 feet away from where you are. Does anyone want to plunge in there after them or just continue to threaten them?
Is the other end of the alley open? Do they have anywhere to retreat to?
Yes, any one of these buildings they could duck between. There's plenty of ways out of that alley.
Okay, so we aren't blocking them from getting out. Okay.
Nope. Okay, so
And
since you're
so
speaking-
many good lines in the chat. I feel like I gotta.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh
Read them
no.
out.
So when one of them observes that he's covered in shit, I'm gonna look at them with cold, angry, crazy eyes and say, "Don't worry, it's not mine."
That's good. I like that one.
Oh.
And then I'm going to point my sword at them and I'm going to say, "I only see fear and dead men." And then I step forward to attack.
Oh,
The one
God.
that made the observation about your status to the other
Wait,
one
Darth Vader? What the
will say,
Hey,
Rask,
I'm trying to be lawful. All right.
Rask, I think he's mad. And the bigger of the two men, obviously Rask, will say, "Who are you?"
I'm the God's damn Shadowbane.
Aaron, go ahead and attack these poor men. I'm trying to figure out what your poop-covered madness is all about.
I rolled a 19.
Okay, so you'll definitely hit a night mask guy with coal painting a mask on his face in an alleyway with a club with a 19. So go ahead.
9 points of damage.
9 points of damage. You will strike him down, Eric. You will basically lay a bloody wound across his chest. Eric's pumped up by the excitement and like whatever of this. And you think maybe he's gone a little wacky at this particular moment. The two of you, however, just saw him hack a bloody furrow down a human being. Now, you fought wargs and you fought vampires, but there's a difference between
This is a
seeing
guy,
a
yeah.
person spilled in a freaking alley. The guy didn't even get a shot in on Eric yet, and he's just laid the guy right open. So the two of you will find yourselves a bit stunned and shocked by that. The man, Rask, will go down, clutching the wound and eyes rolling up in his head, so he's clearly out. And the other man will turn and run. Eric, would you like a shot at him?
Yes.
Okay,
my
please
God.
roll a 20-sided die.
So this is the story
16.
of how a bunch of us were acting reasonable and Eric lost his goddamn mind.
16, 10 points of damage.
Absolutely. You will hack him down from behind, Eric. Again, now you guys are alarmed. You're thinking you might need to tell this story to the watch when they arrest you all for murder in this alleyway.
Nope. We are
Eric's
out.
going apocalypse now.
Yeah, okay. So, and this guy will go down again, bleeding freely from a wound. The two men with daggers will run down the end of that alleyway.
Flee, NPCs, flee before my wrath.
Eric, those are people.
Do you actually say,
Yes.
"Flee
Don't use
NPCs, flee from my wrath," such that Ali is then set up to deliver that line, Eric?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Don't
Yeah.
use our names. Don't use our names. Let's go. We've done what we came to do.
Maybe
Let's get
we
out
should
of here.
help those people.
The three people at the end of the alleyway will drag the one on the ground get up, seeing their captors run, and drag the other two will drag that person out of this alleyway because there's a madman at the end of it hacking people down, covered in poo, wielding a flaming sword. Now, maybe that's great news, but I'm not going to stick around and find out what this guy's situation is.
Helm protect you. Let's go.
Okay, they're just headed away. All right, so those of you down the street, and it's not far down the street, about 60 feet away, will hear all of the things that Eric said. He was not quiet. He was not quiet. You're reasonably certain that whatever it was running across the rooftops probably heard some of that dialogue. And you'll see him turn in glee, blood dripping from his blade. Well, it's actually kind of melting away, right, Eric? Because the fire from it would probably burn the blood away from the blade.
Oh, yeah.
As he's coming back from his job well done. The two of you are, Ali and Joel, are a little stunned, but Joel seemed to be the let's get him out of here and not give our names so as not to do whatever. He's in street lawyer mode. And Allie is seemingly concerned that Eric may be losing it and calling people he's hacking in the streets NPCs. Allie, could you roll a 20-sided die for me?
Yeah. 7.
Okay. The people Eric hacked down, they may not be dead. If you guys just leave them there, they probably will bleed to death. Is that a problem?
Cauterize wounds.
I mean,
You're the only one who's thinking this right now. You're the only one who's thinking.
I mean, for me, that might be a problem. We don't know anything about these people or what just happened, and I'm a little shook from everything that just occurred. But I don't have a means of easily helping these people either. So I'm not.
Fair point.
Like I have first aid training, but I have no materials, nothing to help.
What's wrong, Allie?
You'll say this as you're rolling up with the rest of the group. What happened, they'll say. Go ahead, Allie, you're first.
Have you gone nuts, Eric?
Uh,
Those were people back there.
This might all be a whole hallucination. I have not.
And you're just going to operate on that?
Look.
You're acting like a madman, okay? You just murdered potentially 2 people in that alleyway, okay?
I cut down 2 brigands in self-defense.
Brigands who had kicked a guy.
Brigands who were coming to kill us.
Maybe because
or rob us. You know what? You make a good point.
My point
Go ahead and finish, Ellie.
My point is, you can't treat the people we run across like they're NPCs or programs or hallucinations. We're in a place. These are people.
And May will say, whatever befell, I think you might have just poked a sleeping worm. Were those night masks?
Probably.
Great.
You need to be gone from this.
Probably.
Yes, we do. Because those guys, I can't help them. They're probably going to die. Congratulations. And I'll just walk off.
All right. Does Rhiannon or Randy have anything to add to that?
I mean, I don't know if Allie is sort of going far enough ahead that I couldn't catch up with her, but
I'm sure you did.
I'm not that far ahead.
As we're sort of leaving, I want to put a hand on your shoulder and be like, thank you for saying that. We're all thinking
someone had to say it. Just, we don't know where we are really. What we know, fiction. We know small details and snippets about a world that was made up in a book, and we're in a real place. We can't treat it like it's a game.
Yeah.
So you two will trade those remarks. The rest of the group is moving on with greater speed because they're trying to put distance between themselves and what we just did, and also any potential reprisals that might be coming from the person who got away. Randy, anything?
I'll just put a hand on Eric's arm and be like, "You okay, man?"
You know what? I might be having a crisis, actually.
All right. Well, let's get where we're going, someplace safe.
Un poquito.
Eric, have you got the shakes?
Yeah, my mental state is not the best.
Okay.
I'm not going to actually ask you this question, Eric. I'm going to ask you this question, but you're not obligated to answer it as an attorney. I'm giving you that.
No, I have not killed any people.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you ever killed a man, Eric?
I have been around dead bodies, but I did not make them dead.
Fair enough.
That's an important thing. Yeah, no, I'm shit. Okay, you know what, Joel, help me out here, buddy. I hand him the sword.
All right. The flames in it had already gone out when you returned to the rest of the party.
Well, I extend the sword to him.
Yep.
Say, would you just hold on to this for a while?
I think that might be a good idea, so I go ahead and take it.
Okay.
And but
It
I'll
feels
pass it.
excellently balanced and light in your hands. It's a magnificent weapon.
I will return the longsword that he handed me.
Yep,
so that way
okay.
he is not unarmed. And yeah, let's get you someplace where you can work through some stuff. So let's go.
Yeah,
All
that's a
right.
good idea.
May will resume taking you upon your circuitous journey to your destination. You'll pass through across Naga Way and down some other sections of the city that are getting to look a little bit better as you go. First one that, sort of has potholes and some damage, but is better than the dark area that you were passing through before. And finally onto a street that actually looks pretty nice in terms of its decor. And as you do so, this one has street lamps burning brightly. Streets and thresholds of every building have been swept. There's no sewage about. There's nice decorations everywhere. And as you're coming down this lane, and the night is getting later and later, cobblestones now back under your feet. May points as she sees her destination in the distance. On the northern side of the street, she's pointing to a 2-story stone wood townhouse, and you will all move over to in front of it. As you arrive, it is late at night, but not quite so late that the dawn is beginning to peek over the horizon. So it's that false dawn of we're not quite at dawn, but we're quite late in the night. And the building is a 2-story stone and wood townhouse with a turret. It's kind of like a Realms brownstone. It's 2-story manor house, main house, couple of side sections, one sort of recessed more than the other on the left-hand side, recessed a little bit more than the section on the right-hand side. It's about 100 or so feet long, and less that distance, maybe half of it or a little bit more than half of it deep. It has recessed grand double doors up a short flight of stone steps to a landing. The windows are barred and boarded on the first floor. The setback section on the left-hand side is about 30 feet setback from the main house. It's a sort of it has a second story. The first floor slightly bigger than the second. The first floor looks like it was some sort of a sunroom or a greenhouse, but that appears to be boarded up. And the second floor has the turret on it, on the left-hand side. There's a fireplace going, as you can see from smoke coming from the chimney, on the portion of the main house where that 30-foot section, before it's recessed on the left. So on the left wall of the main house. On the right section, that's only set back about 5-ish feet from the main house. And that looks like, a portion of the main house, maybe where there's sort of like a master suite set on maybe the second floor of that particular building. It has a low wall with a wrought fence around the right-hand side that runs around the back that maybe encloses a garden or something similar. Rhiannon and Eric,
Yeah.
you get sort of like a chill that rolls up your spine while you're looking at this place.
Mhm.
You want to roll a twice-sided die for me?
Of course I do.
13.
2.
Okay. So both of you will get a weird sort of feeling of deja vu, right? You don't know why, but there's just a familiarity. You're looking at something that you've either seen in a picture someplace before, heard described, or are somehow familiar with. While you are engaged in these musings, the May will have trundled up the steps to the main doors of what once was this, or is this noble townhouse or tall house that's seen better days. And she'll begin pounding on the main doors, which will jolt you out of your reverie, right? Like, oh my God, she's just pounding away on these doors, which is echoing down this darkened street. And she pounds for a good 30 seconds before a voice from inside the house replies. What are you guys doing while she's doing that?
Should we go around to a side entrance servant's entrance? Somewhere less conspicuous?
You will say
Too
that to
late
May?
now.
I'll say that to me. I mean, well,
Yeah.
but
She will ignore
yes,
you.
I will say that to May. Okay.
I'm just keeping watch.
Allie, do you recognize this place?
I mean, do I? Like, that's the
I
question.
feel like I recognize it, but
It
I would
isn't
know more
as-
lore than
It isn't as familiar to you, Allie, as it is to Rhiannon and Eric.
Okay. I don't think so. I'm not sure
No.
though.
And Randy, what do you do?
I'm just holding the baby, cooing it, and keeping an eye on the street.
Got it.
Maybe kind of,
She's gonna wake somebody up with that pounding if somebody doesn't open that door reasonably soon. But as I said, a voice will call out from inside. Name yourself, lass. You and your friends are calling quite late. Gruff voice, male voice, deep tone to it. May will reply, May of the Folly, here to see Mistress Jamal. You'll hear the sound of many bolts and locks being turned and thrown on these main double doors. Now that you're observing the main double doors, they look like they've been repaired. They're composed of wood. They have a feather in the center of them and sort of entwined roses along the edges of the design. That is less familiar to you all. As they come, blump, 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 the door, one of the two doors will swing open, and a dwarf. This is the first dwarf you've seen. He looks old without being really, really old. So he's probably, if you were a human, he'd probably be in his 60s or 70s. As a dwarf, who knows exactly how old he would be. He is dressed as though he is a butler or steward in grays and browns, and he's holding two items of interest. One is a very large cocked crossbow aimed out at you. And the other, in his other hand, is a golden disc symbol on a chain. He'll look out at the group warily, and you can sense that behind him, there's probably other people lurking in the entry hall. Allie, you'll put your hands up.
baby.
Yeah, the crossbow. Like,
Yeah,
Look at Randy, be like, baby. Hold out the baby.
maybe. He'll say to May, Mistress Jamal wasn't expecting you until tomorrow, lass. And who are your friends? She will reply to him, I'm sorry, Varys, but we were set upon by a creature, a vampire, near the way in. And my friend Oldor, she's pointing to him, was sorely wounded. I'm hoping Mistress Jamal will know how to get him help. The dwarf will say, a vampire? Was he bitten? She'll say, yes, I gave him a potion, but he's so weak, he needs healing. Most troubling, miss. The dwarf calls back over his shoulder. Mistress Jamal, she says her friend was bitten. There's someone coming out of the darkness to join you on the step. What do you guys want to do as they're moving about? Joel, anything?
Stand there and try to look not threatening while I support Oldorf.
I'll be like, I think the bite has to kill them for anything weird to happen.
You'll say that?
Yeah.
Okay. Eric?
Not on the neck, though, right? It was on the neck.
Yeah, it's like that's where all the scarring
Okay,
is
I'm
now.
not gonna
Did
say
we
anything
check to
about
make
it.
sure he still has,
I'm
we didn't
not-
check to make sure he still has a pulse, does he? Did we?
Oh, he's still alive.
He's
He's
definitely still alive.
respirating.
Okay.
He's respirating.
Okay.
Rhiannon, anything in particular other than holding forth a baby?
You should probably stand away from me. Look how.
I mean,
This isn't mine. Don't worry.
actually, what I will do is be like, the whatever else you think of, these babes need sanctuary.
She's right, May will say, to support your point. Randy?
Yeah, I'll just nod to Rhiannon and said,
She'll shake her head. She'll look across you all, eyes drawn first to the babies that you're holding up, right? And then to Eric. Eric, roll 20-sided die.
That would be sorry, these dice are a little hard to read. 7.
That was a look of vague recognition, almost like she might have known who you were. It'll take her a moment, only a moment, to notice that you're covered in poo.
Yeah.
And that'll draw her
attention. It's not mine, my lady.
You'll say, it's not mine, my lady. She'll chuckle and she'll say, find her pride. I haven't seen a troop this ragged since one of my midwinter street performances. May, lass, let's get you and your friends and these babies in out of the night. But first, be a good girl and have everyone take a nip out of this. She'll toss a crystal flask with a stopper to May. Just a sip now. And May will uncork the flask and take a tentative sip, handing it back to the nearest person behind her. Who would that
I'll take
be?
it.
Okay, Eric,
Okay.
will step boldly forward, grabbing the flask. Okay, Eric, do you want to sniff it first, or are you just going to nip this?
I'm just gonna nip that.
Okay, it is a slightly oily consistency to it as you put it in your mouth, and it smells slightly fragrant. Okay, who will you hand it to next?
I'll take it next.
Yep, I hand it to Allie.
Yeah. All
Okay.
right. I'll take a nip.
Okay,
Hand it on.
you will have heard the same description that I just gave to Eric
Mhm.
in terms of how it tastes. It's got a slipperiness to it. It's cut with oil of some kind or another, like maybe a vegetable oil or something like that. And it has a scent to it. Next.
I'll take it. Oh, go ahead.
All right.
Okay,
Okay.
Either
so
way.
I'll take it and I'll pause with it partway to my mouth and go, holy water, and take a nip.
She will say, yes, very adroit of you. You did mention vampires after all.
A reasonable precaution.
Stands to reason.
And hand it off to
Very sensible.
I'll take it.
Rhiannon.
Yeah.
Okay.
And knowing what it is, I will have no hesitation to taking a little bit.
Got it?
Randy.
Your voice in your head will say, what do we really know about this woman?
She has what we currently need. I thought you wanted the babes to be safe.
Practical. I approve. Okay. And Randy?
Sure, I'll put my thumb over it and go.
So you're going to attempt to fake them out.
And then
Why?
because it's
Okay.
oily, water shouldn't be oily.
The red mark.
Roll a 20-sided die for me, Randy. Actually, roll percentile dice for me, Randy.
Okay.
Randy was getting jealous that I was doing all the crazy.
That must be it.
35.
All right. Despite the fact that they're rather strictly watching you all engage in this, you managed to just slip one by them. You tilted it as appropriate, and they just didn't detect that you just fooled them.
Oof.
Excellent. Also, I had thought maybe to do it on the babies, but then I'm like, wait a second, maybe their nature would not react well to it. So I don't even.
Funny you should say that, Randy, because as you're about to hand the bottle off to Oldor, she says, and if you could just sprinkle a drop or two on the babes.
Hmm.
That should be fine, right?
I
Joel
mean,
will say, that should be fine,
Fine.
right? Is there
people
some-
who know these, I won't say lore, people who know this stuff, is this going to be a problem?
Shouldn't be.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. If assuming that they are what they appear to be, no.
Okay.
Jamal will say, is there a concern for two babies?
No, but you're the one asking
They're
to put
not
the oil
ours
on it. Why
either.
would you be concerned about babies?
Well, so okay, I am
Technically.
good.
Well, they're
I-
in our protection. We don't
I'm
want
gonna
any
go
harm to
ahead.
come to them.
and partially like unwrap one enough.
So that she can see what she
Yeah.
can see. And she'll go, huh? For the 100th time, if Mintassin wasn't off pursuing his own crazy schemes, he'd be here to answer some of these questions for me. I think I know what we're dealing with.
Yeah, that damn Mintassin's so unpredictable, right?
Well, I'm glad someone here does, and I'm hoping you can tell us.
So if you could just hand Oldor the bottle. Okay, Oldor will take it, and he'll take a swig because he's trying to point out he's not dangerous. I don't want to die on the street. Please let me in the nice house.
He's probably real thirsty too. I mean, have we given him any water?
He hasn't
The
had
dude's
the
suffering.
The
Do we have
replacement,
any? He had a
if we
potion.
haven't- Yeah, true, but it's not a lot of water. Anyway, so he'll take a swig of it, come out of that experience just fine, and she'll usher you forward into the entryway. You all want to go in?
Yes.
Okay. As you cross the threshold and enter the foyer, you'll notice that this room is about 20 by 20, wood floors. It has a semicircular exit as you come in. So the walls are sort of square with the exception of the wall farthest from you, which sort of curved a bit. It's lit by an oil lamp on a table in the back right. It has a sweeping semicircular staircase that leads on the back left-hand side of the room to the second floor, which is open to the first floor. There are 4 exits. The stairs up, an open archway on the left that leads to a sitting room with a fireplace with a fire happily burning, a narrower tunnel archway on the north wall leading into a hallway that leads left and right from there, and a delicate wood and glass paneled door on the right wall to a large dining room with a big table and chairs. Rhiannon, you have an expression on your face.
I mean, I'm not good with like visualization, but like
It's
I'm-
definitely Briar House, right?
Yep.
That's where my
Pretty
head
sure.
was going. Yeah.
Okay, so as you begin to put that together, you will get a chill go up your spine and you will say, oh crap, I think I recognize this place. I think I recognize this place. Could this possibly be? You are now actively thinking that as you're hearing me describe the place. It's well made, plain decor, but it's messy and battered as though it's been prepared for a siege. And as the doors close behind you, you'll notice that they have newly installed iron bars, garlic cloves hung up around them, and that there is some sort of a symbol, a harp on a gray background, tacked above the door as though it was meant to be a holy symbol.
I suppose that should be reassuring.
Is it?
Oh.
They can be
Maybe.
pretty ruthless too.
Maybe.
No, I know what this is. I know what this is. And it's like that. It's Finder Wyvern Spur.
Right.
Mhm.
Yes.
Holy
Okay.
Symbols of Harp.
Yep.
Mhm.
So you'll be thinking that to yourselves as she guides you into the sitting room on the left. She lays Oldor out on a big shao rug in front of the fire, and 2 other individuals emerge from the side rooms.
I do not follow her into the sitting room because I am still covered in shit.
Valid.
Do you wish to stop and say, Madam,
My
I
lady,
have the poo on me?
my lady, can I prevail upon your hospitality to deal with this?
I'm looking forward to the story about how you ended up that way.
It is a shitty story.
It's a story. It's a story.
She'll chuckle. She'll call out, Mercy. And one of the 2 people that was stepping forth from the shadows, a girl, a half-elven girl, slight teenage, perhaps, just into her teen years, dark, straight hair, sort of blue-black, so she's probably a moon elf by descent in terms of her half-elven heritage, will emerge, come to her side, look at you, look away, and go to fetch something to clean you off with. It occurs to me that I didn't give you a full description of the mistress of the house.
You did not.
She is a woman in her 50s or 60s. She has Mediterranean complexion. Her hair is graying, but it's sort of curly. There's a little bit of red left in it. It's tucked away in a garish red silk headscarf. And she is wearing a flowery housecoat. She is leaning heavily on a cane, as one of her legs has clearly sorely been injured at some past point in time, and that has limited her continuing mobility. And she has a wand tucked into the belt of her housecoat. Okay. So her name was given as Jamal. As I said, you're in that room. The other person who will come to assist you is a tall, spindly-looking lad in his early 20s, who will help her lay Oldor out on the ground. Again, straight hair, brownish, white complexion. He's taking orders from the dwarf, who appears to be the steward or seneschal of this place. They're assisting Oldor on the ground, along with her and May. She'll gesture to a couch in the left-hand side to the left of the fireplace, and a set of chairs, 4 in number, also to the left, and say, please be seated while we see to your friend. You may wish to wait for Mercy to return with some rags. You have a moment where you can talk amongst yourselves.
I feel like I've been just kind of quiet, like for the most part, ever since the little outburst in the street. So
I'm still in the entryway and they're in the sitting room, right?
That is correct. You can go into the sitting room, you just can't sit on anything, was the request.
And there's no one else in there?
The entryway is empty. They've locked and barred the doors. Everyone else has moved into the sitting room. There may be other people somewhere in this house, but you aren't aware.
Lady of the house is in the sitting room?
Lady of the house is in the sitting room, along with May, the dwarf, and the lanky lad, all attempting to assist Oldor. The woman, the girl, really, went off to get you something. She went to a kitchen, which is sort of directly located across from, this place is the total layout of Briar House.
Yep, gotcha. Right. Well, I will look at everybody and convey that I am terribly sorry for my actions, and I wish to speak with you when we have a private moment. Which kind of looks like.
And I'll just say, take care of yourself, Eric. Go. A bath will work wonders. Sure.
So just to be clear, we're far enough away that we can have a private conversation.
You can whisper amongst yourselves, yes, if that's what you want to do.
Hey guys, so when May offered up a little prayer of thanks to someone named Finder, I am not I'm not familiar with that. Okay,
Finder
who is
Wyvern
that?
Spur.
Okay.
Wandering Bard, it's a god.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a bad deity, at least as far as I remember.
Okay, so that harp does not mean that they're harpers?
Yeah, that
Or
the best I could do.
That is
was
not easy mistake to make. I feel like the Finder's holy symbol is a harp. So
there's some overlap.
Okay, there's a little bit.
Could be.
Okay.
But that's the symbol for the deity.
Okay, so like high level, May suggested that we could leave the babies here, and I think they are safer somewhere not with us. And we were pushing to get Older to help, and we have. So, assuming that they don't like require us to like do a fetch quest to earn, their help or something, right? We're gonna have to pick something to do after we leave here. And I don't have answers, but we should start thinking that direction. Because I want to, stupid video. Pardon me. I would like to go home. So
I mean, the
that
idea
would be
of
my goal.
Yeah, the idea of being in the fantasy realm is pretty awesome in concept, but I don't like we've been covered in poo, almost died, and multiple times, and Eric's like on shaky ground right now. I don't, so
Yeah, I think
I
if
don't
any
wanna
of us
see
should
what
go
this-
home, it's Eric.
I don't see. Well, I want to see what this ends up doing to us in the long run. So, yeah, I mean, getting home seems like a good priority.
You say that.
If-
Rhiannon,
Hmm?
your voice in your head is back.
Mhm.
You haven't learned a thing. I can't teach you if we aren't here. And Allie, your voice in your head is back. You haven't even gone to sleep.
I know I don't intend on going anywhere just yet. In fact,
Is that-
honestly,
Or out loud.
out loud.
Okay.
Oh, I filed that away. Look, I get your priorities and I get the desire to go home, but I don't know. I feel like I'd be doing all the younger versions of me that wish to come to a place like this, a place with magic, a place with, all that, yes, danger, but mystery and wonder and all this other stuff that we can only imagine. A disservice if I just left.
Well, I think that
Well-
I mean, it's not like we know we can snap our fingers and go home.
Right,
I imagine
right.
we're still
Gonna
going to have
be
to
a
figure out
process.
how to get
If I-
home,
If I
and
could help, yeah.
learn magic along that way, and maybe do some good in this world. Maybe we'll find a purpose in this world that motivates us to stay. I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard to find
Well,
have much impact in our world sometimes,
It-
but
I think in order to before we can even make that decision, we have to figure out what brought us here, because the key to getting home, if that's what we choose to do, is probably tied to how we got here in the first place. So does anybody have ideas about what's going on?
other
Eric,
than
what did
being
what did
marked
Helm
by
say
it.
to you?
Hmm.
Has Mercy come back yet?
Yes, she has. She's standing
Oh.
a considered distance away because you guys appear to be in conversation.
Okay.
Well, I'll step
I
back.
was separated from the group a little bit. Like I communicated something to them, and then I was waiting because I don't want to
Got
get poop on the sitting room floor.
That's very kind of you. All right, so Randy,
Trying
you'll
to be a
ask that
gracious
question.
guest.
You'll ask that question, but it's clear that Eric is now going to be involved in attempting to depoopify himself.
Yeah.
Got it.
And,
So
and I,
it's
I
just
want to
you
say
guys.
something to the voice.
Yes,
like,
go
in a
ahead.
quiet moment. So after conversation, I'm going to say, I haven't forgotten about you. You called me pragmatic, and I am here to learn as a means to an end. And I think you will not be shocked by this, but just to lay that out there, I'm looking to learn so that I can get home.
That is reasonable. Just know that being here and opening the conduits that are available in this place will grant you power that you cannot have there, even if I teach it to you here. To use it, you must use it here, and it is your birthright. But you do as you will.
And like,
Share that with the
Yeah.
group.
I'll add, by the way, like I'll gladly help. If going home is what y'all want to do, I'll help. But there are things here that I could potentially get access to that I couldn't there. And
Well-
God knows, even if I found them here, if I'd even be able to take them back with me.
Eric is being depoopified.
Oh, good.
She has a scrub brush, Eric, and she's working on it.
I mean, I think that's more than fair, Allie. I'm glad that you're willing to and it's going to be a process. I'm glad that you're willing
Well,
to
yeah.
help us. But
I'm not gonna
wherever you
not
need
help.
wherever you need to diverge for yourself,
Mhm.
that's understandable. I just that's where I'm going to be going.
Valid.
I lean over and say to Mercy, you might want to have a bucket available for him. There is a very
Oh,
good
I have
chance he's
several
going to-
buckets, sir. Several.
An empty one, because there's a good chance he's going to be sick soon.
Oh, I see.
Just,
I'm
May
mobile.
happen, may not, but be
Whoosh.
ready.
Off she goes to look for the empty bucket.
I mean,
Doesn't want him to be
My-
sick on that shell carpet.
Thanks for
Yeah.
that.
Joel, as
My-
an officer, were you trained in essentially helping counsel people through a situation?
Maybe a little. I mean, maybe a little.
All right. Well,
I
while
paid
she's
attention around
gone,
the chaplain.
Yep.
So first, I wish to apologize for my actions. I have been having a difficult time with this transition, and I did not mean to take it out on you or on those people. Secondly, I think I got you into this mess, so it is my job to get you out of it. Whatever you choose to do, I will support you until you are all happy, whether that's being home or being here and happy. Allie, we're going to set you up with the change dance. That's going to happen. Don't worry about it. Randy? Yes. Rhiannon, you are our designated wizard. We're going to
The
train
designated
you up.
wizard.
We're going to train you up to be powerful enough to teleport yourself and anyone who wants to go with you back home. Joel, thank you for taking care of me. Randy, I'm coming back to you now. Please don't get us all killed. Okay.
Is wizard the only kind of 2E spellcaster?
Unfortunately, well, it's complicated, but
This is the
okay.
first year of 3rd edition, so maybe not.
there might
Oh.
be sorcerers around.
The
Yeah, I know.
the voice in your head, Rhiannon says,
Yes.
the power is in your blood. It is the power of fire.
F wizardry.
Rhiannon,
Book
do you
learning.
do you know
Warlock it
something we
is.
don't? Because you're smiling real big right now.
um we established that there wasn't like message spells to anybody else, right? Like before when I was asking that,
Right.
voice in your head.
Eric told you that the message spell didn't even exist yet, although
think
May seems to
will-
have contradicted that.
I'm sure
the-
there's a spell that can send messages.
At the mention of voices in your head, I will sit up a bit straighter, a little bit. Are you hearing things?
Yes, I think.
Okay. So is anyone else? Because
His mark glowed red. Ours glows red. Randy, do you hear like a voice?
You've heard no voices so far, Randy. Just those of your friends. Randy is
Oh no, Frozen.
hearing one right now.
Well-
Hearing a voice.
Oh no.
Well, this isn't quite the
Okay.
same thing, but I was summoned to speak with Helm. Does that count?
Potentially.
I mean, kind of. That explains a few things.
But
It-
Helm
it does.
probably didn't sound like you, right? He sounded like
No,
otherworldly.
Eric, he did not
Okay.
sound like you. No,
Okay.
sounded like you.
Like I could do a lot of voices, but that one was
So-
a lot.
Okay.
I-
Okay.
I-
So at least two
I
of
have-
us.
Yeah, I have not heard voices, but I did get some visions before I met up with you guys. Just a vision of you guys specifically.
Oh,
Okay. It's something. But yeah, I've heard a voice a couple times now. That did sound a bit like myself, but different.
Yeah, like you wouldn't mistake it.
Yeah. Although it's been frustratingly cryptic, which
Okay.
honestly makes me think it might be a god or something. I don't know. That's what they do.
What does the voice sound like?
We just
Um,
told you it sounds like us.
Kind of
And what has it told you?
It sounds like you.
sibilant.
Yes.
Kind of. I don't know. It's
You get an almost sensual thrill when it talks to you, Allie. That's not
Oh.
something Rhiannon has gotten.
Okay, I will.
Uh-huh.
I might not. So then I would probably blush considerably and go. I mean,
Okay, so Allie's voice is her, but like real sexy. Okay.
Oh,
Sorry, I didn't mean to imply anything by that. I'm saying there are a
Oh,
number
you're
of sex
not-
demons
you're
that
not
could be talking to
wrong.
you at any time.
You're
You'll
not
notice
wrong.
you'll notice that Mercy was rolling right up on you with that pail, just as you said. There are a number of sex demons. She will turn around and head in the opposite direction,
Look,
dropping the pail on the
all-
ground.
all it said to me so far is that I'd learn more when I sleep.
Hey, Allie,
Hmm.
your voice will say to you, it's struggling to communicate with you, can only speak to you in your dreams.
Oh, like she. I will sit up. I will sit up a little bit straighter then. Like, oh,
Did she say something to you?
that she can only speak to me in my dreams.
Okay.
In your dreaming
But-
right now because
okay.
she spoke to you to tell you that she can
Yeah.
only speak to you.
It
in your
sounded.
dreams?
It sounded like she was straining to manage even that though.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so this is sort of a dream. So I only sort
I
of
don't-
murdered two people.
No,
let's-
you
let's not
definitely
count on
murdered.
that.
Okay, I definitely murdered two people, right?
Yeah.
Mercy, where's that bucket?
She dropped it. She dropped it right at your feet as she ran. You were
In the
talking about
bucket.
sex demons. Okay,
Yep,
so
okay,
Eric,
yep, pull it all out.
Oh
Th-
my
this sounds
God.
to me like, like ask them for, we should probably like get some water or watered wine, and like maybe some food because we didn't eat at the Giant's Folly, and then
Ugh.
like try to sleep and not worry about like where we're going yet. Like if they'll give us time
Yeah.
to sleep.
Yeah, we need sleep. We're probably gonna need new clothes because I mean we stink.
you do.
I mean, I want to try to wash mine. I'm
my-
really in
my-
favor of my like really
the very-
good athletic shoes for long journeys, as opposed to like rando boots.
I mean, I would like some boots instead of these ratty old sneakers that I'm wearing. That would be nice. I might as well go whole hog and go for the entire outfit.
All of my clothes
Especially-
are destroyed except for my jacket because I would have taken my jacket off before I waded into the sewer. So I have a jacket.
Yeah, and my jacket's destroyed because I used it to soak up blood.
All right, you
so
can have my jacket.
Coming over behind you,
I'm okay
Eric,
for now.
as you're voiding yourself into this bucket, is Jamal, who will gently place a hand on your shoulder and ask if you're okay.
Yes, my lady, I appreciate the concern. I have, it's been a trying day.
You look familiar.
Is that so? I
Yes.
suppose a gentlewoman of your persuasion knows a great many people.
She will smile like the cat that ate the canary when you make that statement.
Mhm.
And she will say, you wouldn't be a cousin or brother to poor Beldrith, would you?
I do not know that name, my lady.
Thalavar? Do you know that name?
I do recognize that name.
You've the long, lean look of a member of the Thalavar family. One bastard line in particular about you.
Ah, well, my parents are not in this world, so
I am sorry for your loss, she will say.
yes, it has been a trying day. Like I said,
Like,
you are the famous thespian Jamal, are you not?
Ah, so word of me has spread, has it? Indeed.
I have heard certain things of you, and they were all good.
Although performances of my troupe have diminished considerably since the tragedy that befell us 2 months ago, and I doubt I'll be able to offer much more than a token performance tomorrow during midsummer and another on Shieldmeet. I don't suppose any of you would happen to be bards, would you?
We all look at Randy.
I suppose I would aspire to be one. I would be happy to lend whatever meager skills I have to aid you.
My friend here has a wonderful singing voice.
What talents do you have, lad? The city's in need of cheap heroes.
Well, that describes me well. I have an okay singing voice, and I can juggle. I can dance. I can. What else would be entertaining in these times?
Have you ever done a puppet play?
I actually have.
Lad, I'll feed you and put you up here for the short term if you're happy to join my troupe tomorrow and the day after. I've need of puppeteers.
If that aligns with the plans of the rest of my group, then in terms of staying here for the next couple of days, I would be glad to.
I'm not going to stop you.
We need food and rest, and to form a base to form plans,
Rest,
right?
My friend Joel here and I can
Joel.
stage fight.
Did you just shove an apostrophe in there?
I did. It is the fantasy way.
Then it is the possibility that I may be able. It is the possibility that I may be able to help you all. I'm very interested to hear your story, although it is quite late or quite early, depending upon how you would describe it. And I don't want to deny you a chance for sleep and
Of
food.
course. Nor would we wish to take advantage of your
So
hospitality.
I'm
in such a
happy
way.
to hear more about it tomorrow and to put you up here in the turret. In the meanwhile, however, before I do that, I'm going to have to know what, if any, connection you have to the Thalabars. Lady Thistle is a friend, although our relationship is more strained than it used to be. And I sent Beldrith's wife, his widow, son, and newborn daughter to her for help just 2 days ago.
I see. Though I know the name and respect the young lady, I have never met any member of the Thalabar family.
Very well. Well, you're the spitting image of Beldrith. I'll tell you that much.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
He was a good man, a small hero.
So a bad thing in Westgate is what you're saying.
He was a member of the Watch. He just wasn't a Tyrian like the rest of them. He worshipped Helm.
Yes.
I understand he died on the street not too long ago, defending some woman who the Tyrians were pursuing. Some woman from the north. I didn't get much information about her.
I see.
May will look right at her like she's trying to get her attention. Look over at the babies like she's trying to make a point.
Well done.
And Jamal will smile.
We
And
shall
on that
speak-
note,
we shall speak more.
yes.
Yeah.
And on that note, she'll say, you've the look, the feel of cheap heroes about you. A cheap hero is an everyday hero. Not one of those highfalutin, noble-born, kill a dragon before breakfast, always get the girl heroes, but your regular type hero. The merchant who doesn't cheat widows and orphans, the neighbors who bring you hot meals when you're sick, the kid who stops the pickpocket and who grabbed your purse, the fisherman who paid a protection racketeer with the racketeer's own teeth, the fest hall girl who testified at a murder trial and had to leave the town. There are apprentices and journeymen who help the farmers guard their fields so no one could start a brush fire to drive up the price of grain and start a famine in the surrounding regions. I tell their stories.
Well, we hope to give you stories to tell.
I suspect you will. I didn't get your name, fellow thespian.
Randonius Imperius Hendersonius Maximus.
Well done, or well met, Randonius. And on that note, we shall break for the evening.
Huzzah!
Oh boy. All right. Thank you everyone for watching our increasingly existential dread filled game here. I have been Eric Scott to be often a DM on this stream. I am DMing next week as we are doing our next episode of Westgate Irregular's Destiny, which will cap off our years-long campaign with Randy, Rhiannon, and Yang Yang, and Aaron, and just all the regular dungeon scrawlers playing in this game. And we're capping it off. Please come join us. It'll be fun. I launched my Kickstarter. It goes live on Friday. You can do !justice in the chat, and it'll give you a link to go and be an early adopter, watcher, and you'll get a notification. Otherwise, you can find me on Twitter as long as Twitter is around, probably commenting about D&D stuff, because that seems to be what people are commenting about these days. So on that note, take it away, Rhiannon.
Hey, I've been Rhiannon. Check out my urban fantasy, Rhiannon Held, space opera, RZ Held. Book 6 is now out in my novella series. Put a link in the chat. And tonight, thank you to our moderators who are here playing, and also Maridug, who is in the chat.
Awesome.
Well, all right. Well, I am Alexander Pitchford. As I said at the top of the show, I am a writer, game designer, and TTRPG streamer. You can often find me sometimes here doing various things, either in the chat or increasingly these days on the stream, or Tuesday mornings, I believe, or Wednesday mornings, Tuesday mornings. I don't know. Time is a flat circle.
It sure is, Rust. It sure is.
Tuesday mornings on twitch.tv/polishcryptid, we are doing a D&D campaign called The Wandering Menagerie, which is as meandering but also as fascinating as it sounds. And then I do have a Patreon at patreon.com/Alexandra Pitchford, where I am putting up fiction and the like, and I'll probably even be throwing up some game content, game mechanical stuff soon. So please stay tuned to that. And that's about it for me. Hey.
Hello, everybody. I've been Joel Everett. I do not have any shows coming up in the near future because this is a dead time of the year for fireworks from basically New Year's until about April or so. But if you're in the Philly area and you'd like to help change that, go to pyrotechnico.com and schedule a show. But other than that, come hang out on the Discord. Cool people talking about interesting things, mostly gaming stuff, but lots of other stuff as well. So come chat.
Hi, I'm Randy. And thank you very much to Cruciferous Kale, Cosmic Gnostic, Lady Star Fire, and Jobri for donating to the Trevor Project. It's a wonderful cause, saves lives, and helps LGBTQ youth in crisis. And thank you to everyone for your continued subscriptions and viewership and supporting the stream. We really appreciate it. Chris?
And I'm Chris, the DM who will cover you in poo. I look forward to exploring the dreams and destinies of the remaining players, all suspiciously pooless at this time.
Thanks so much, Rhiannon. Take us out.
I'll take us out. Until next time, may your rolls and your word count be equally high.
Woo-hoo.